Nice Shorts theme song.
Nice shorts. Yeah.
Hi, Willy.
Hello,
Hi.
Willy.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Let us know what is your film to screen at PFCAT?
My film is called Death's Peak. It's generally about a guy who digs up his brother to race down a mountain on their childhood red wagon. And I have the puppet. So he was just in his wagon. That's why he's in the weird
No.
pose. The head is made out of fiberglass,
Okay.
which is used a lot. So they sculpted the head, they cast a mold of it, they paper mache'd on that mold, then they recast it in fiberglass. So it's completely hollow and really weightless.
Wow.
And like it's a classic little, you
Oh,
can just pop off the heads in brass stock and like
yes.
just
Wow.
kind of the inner mechanics of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so
Just very
cool.
thin. It takes the paint a little bit differently, so the head ends up being a little bit shiny, which is something we had to watch for constantly. The outfit is made out of Tyvek, which is what they make like concert wristbands out of. And it looks like paper and kind of reacts like paper and bunches like it, but it doesn't rip.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So there's this so you have to create little sections of the puppet that the clothes will naturally bunch because there's zero stretch in it. All the model makers that worked on this puppet hated working with Tyvek because it's so hard to sew.
Yeah.
But I just put my foot down with that one.
So they're all very reflective. When you were lighting it for the night shots, but still had a flashlight going on in the middle, how did that work with your lighting?
It was rough. Uh, we have just the craziest rigging possible. Because I'm comfortable with rigging, I have like magic arms coming off of dolly winders where I have lights that are following along with the characters. The characters are attached to another part of the tripod and
Yeah.
they're just standing on a base. So they're like sliding across, and then I'm slipping in pieces of paper to get a little bit of bounce.
Yeah.
And those are for all the like mid shots. I'm
Okay.
doing these setups that you have like three lights
Hmm.
that move with the character at all times.
Wow.
And then for the wides, we use the flashlight itself, but one of the other animators accidentally left it on all night and
Oh.
it lost like 3/4 of its brightness.
No.
So we were taking like 8-second exposures and it was just pitch black in there.
Oh.
Like I was animating absolutely in the dark, and you just like take a picture and sit there and just like have this mental struggle of don't pick up your phone and like try things. Because I was also taking multiple exposures for every shot for the most part, either for rigging reasons or because my cinematographer and I had different desires, or like
Mhm.
he wanted to shoot very much how we're going to see it in the end, and I
Hmm.
wanted more information, so I was just like taking a couple exposures up.
As a options while you
So I
editing.
had options.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'd take an image and I'd just sit there for like 45 seconds
Wow.
and then have to jump back and be like, okay, what was I feeling?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the set itself, we had a good bit of space, but because there are a million mountain shots, I always tried to shoot into the mountain until you have the big moments that you see everything. But
Hmm.
I was trying to hold those back so that you could have that really big moment. And
Yeah.
shooting into the mountain, you don't really see much.
Okay.
But I couldn't build an entire mountain. So I just built a setup that almost every shot is a completely new setup. All my objects are movable, everything is a piece.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like layering pieces, throwing trees in new locations. Like you'll see a cliff that's a rock in one shot, that's like deep background texture in another. Everything you see in the film has been used at least 4 times.
Oh my. Okay.
Recycle, reuse.
I guess my biggest tip and trick is there isn't a proper way. If it works, you can do absolutely anything. And that's on kind of all scales of stop motion. When I first went into it, I always figured there were like really good, proper ways to do things. And now I will just like slap things together. And if it gets me through the shot, like that's all I need. And I'm not scared of the small kind of screw ups.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a wonderful moment that you're capturing on screen. Like you're getting a little bit of the human behind it. Like there's this great Bruce Bickford quote that I'm haven't heard this in years, so I'm about to butcher it. Saying that the magic of animation is all the effort and care that's put in between the frames.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really the animators' effort and like love and feelings that come through between the frames of a film.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I really connect with. Like if you're going in and animating from like an emotional space, it will make its way in there.
This is beautiful. I love it. Thank you. And helpful also. Like I need to hear that.
It's up to you if you want to talk about what the reason for the story is, but also you have someone helping you to actually write it out. And I'm curious
Mhm.
about when it's that personal of a story to you and having someone else write it, are you having them follow as much to what you experienced, or are you trying to let them kind of take that idea and turn it into something different? Like, what's the process of translating that?
So this film's my grad film
Yeah.
at National Film and Television School in Beaconsfield, England.
Mm-hmm.
And you have every major department filled with a student at the school, and there are 10 people in every class.
Okay.
So you pitch to the school and you get teamed up.
Okay.
And my writer and I really wanted to work together because she's absolutely hysterical. Like one of the funniest people I know. We just connect and felt like we could make something really good, but we struggled for a while with a story.
Mm-hmm.
And it finally came to pulling us from two stories.
Mm-hmm.
One was like digging up your dead dad so that a man can like recreate his childhood so he knows how to be a good parent for his son.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
then the other was going back home and discovering that your imaginary friends still existed,
Mm-hmm.
but they just like grew apart from you.
Oh, just like,
And the two of you are like trying to fit into your old relationship, but you're two completely different people.
yeah.
And I pitched both of those, and the head of the animation department, Robert Bradbrook, suggested I combine them. And a guy goes home and digs up his dad. And it just made sense to take it a more personal route because I lost a brother 10 years ago to suicide. It's a story that I've kind of addressed before while I was interning at NASA.
Mm-hmm.
Not the right time to address that story.
Mm-hmm.
Not the NASA part, but like to address your own personal grief while working on satellites. Back to coming up with the story, thinking about the potential of creating a story about going back home and digging up your dead brother. Instead of relive your childhood, try to express all the things that you weren't able to.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it was a story idea that kind of haunted me. And I realized that if I was to ever make a story on this subject matter, it kind of had to be now because I was in a place that I'm emotionally stable enough to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But it's still fresh enough that I can tap into the real emotion and tap into those struggles and like thoughts that happen directly after. So through the film, it was kind of taking those little thoughts that jump into your head for a split second and being like, okay, but what if you fully listen to them?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And I mean, the big one is, well, if you just dug him up and fulfilled your childhood dream with the dead body.
Yeah.
So working with Tracy, she tried writing it at first.
Hmm.
but
Okay.
she has a completely different background from me, and she's English, and it wasn't quite working. So she came to me and told me that it had to come from me.
Okay.
So there were sections that I handled more alone, that I just like journal and and write dialogue for hours and just have like 12 versions of it.
Mm.
And then we would get together in this like sad little office with blue tack on every single wall. And it's like the old dirty crusty blue tack.
So detailed.
But
Yeah.
I got the best studio to animate in, so it's all good.
Uh-huh.
And then Tracy and I would go into my office and we'd have a back and forth conversation where I'd just read out these parts and she'd be like, okay, I really like this line, but we need something in the middle. And we'd have these like very open moments where we're just kind of bouncing back and forth with how we can use my previous writing. And she really provided the structure through the film.
I want to learn from you about the readiness and how to separate its full emotion, but you still be able to communicate with the audience.
Can add one little thing to the end of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the story you're sharing is personal to you, but it's also personal to others. The
Yeah.
emotion of like knowing that you're sharing it and there are others who are affected by it. I'm curious what that felt like.
Sorry, this overhead light so bright.
It's no, it adds more to the godliness thing, remember? Do you have like a white robe or something you could put?
I think I tried to avoid this story on my other projects at NFTS. I made a bunch of films that were just kind of fun, silly little things. And I felt very dissatisfied making them.
Hmm.
Okay.
And then I tried to make a film about my diabetes, but I made it about what diabetes is, which I don't really see a point to. I learned this through making this film that I just didn't care about with a crazy technique.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that I care more about the emotional aspect of diabetes
Mm-hmm.
because that's the thing that isn't taught, the emotional feeling of going through the day to day and having this thing that's in the back of your head. So I knew I wanted to tell something that tested kind of like my boundary
Mm-hmm.
and capability of telling an emotional story.
Hmm.
So I just kind of jumped in full force. It felt like the film needed to be very normal and upfront. It's not hidden behind metaphors, there's not big symbolism within the film.
Mm-hmm.
It's very straightforward and kind of earnest
Mm.
in how it's depicting mourning. And that's wrapped in just a outlandish, crazy idea to
Hmm.
make it entertaining and fun. But the emotions in it are just like not pushing away from being too much. I tried to just capture them as earnestly as I possibly could.
Hmm.
And I think that's the strength of the film,
Mm-hmm.
probably, is that like it tends to hit very hard emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I was ready to tell it. Like,
Hmm.
Okay.
I finished this film 9 months ago, and for 8 of those months, it just destroyed me. I struggled talking about it. Like, I can talk in front of people on a stage. I'm very comfortable on a stage. Can't stand being in front of a camera.
Oh,
You're welcome for this then.
thank you so much. Yeah.
But I put so much expectation on how well the film did, and like
Hmm.
because I didn't find the joy in the process that much. Like it was kind of painful throughout it because I'm at this school that like you have a very hard set deadline.
Right.
You're working as quick as possible to finish it. I've decided this is my one time to like tackle this subject matter.
Yeah.
And I put so much pressure during the making of it that it wasn't that enjoyable. Then I put extra pressure on the release of it and how well it does,
Mm-hmm.
and hope that the joy would be there. And I think that wasn't healthy either. I'm at a point with it that I'm really happy I made it.
Yeah.
I will never tell another film quite this emotional. I don't think I have a story that's quite this. I
Fingers
mean, I
crossed you
don't
don't
have
have.
a trauma that's
Yeah.
like as extreme,
Yeah.
but
But yeah, of course, no, no, no. Yeah, I don't want you.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I
but
believe you can speak for other people. Like that's
yeah.
possible. Are you open to that? Help people to tell their story which have similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's been the big benefit of it, is
Mm,
being able to actually connect with people occasionally that have felt alone in these feelings. Like I really made this film for myself at my lowest,
okay.
Mm.
because I couldn't cry. I really was struggling with his death and couldn't really comprehend things. And my only release of emotion was in film.
Okay. That.
But I didn't want to watch films that just left me sad and depressed. I wanted to watch something that made me giggle, but also had a little bit of reality that made me feel seen. So
Yeah.
I made it for myself, and now I'm seeing it connect with people, and that's made it worth it. That now I'm realizing how much I've learned and grown because of the film.
You're not hammering away at any tropes or anything. It's just a brother that wants to hang out with his brother, taking him up a hill to go hang out and do something. And then, there's more reveals, but like
Mhm.
the relationship was one of like never missed a day love. Like even when you haven't seen a friend for a long time and you see him and you don't need to catch up. It's that kind of
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship going up the mountain is my older brother,
Mm-hmm.
and he's silent. He's just a quiet guy.
hmm.
So we'd go on hikes in the mountains. I grew up in Colorado, and we'd go on these like long hikes where he'd say maybe 20 words the entire time.
Okay.
And, or we'd be driving to school and he'd force me to talk to him the entire time we're driving, because he'll fall asleep if I stop talking to him, but he doesn't say a thing. So I got very used to these relationships that's just like one person talking to kind of a lifeless
Right.
human being that are, every once in a while will like nod their head.
I feel like we should start this interview over and that's all I'm gonna do. It's just
Not our head.
We have this huge luxury at the school that pretty much anybody I pick is extremely talented.
Mhm.
Going into choosing the team, it was seeing who could connect with the film on an emotional level and who I felt comfortable with emotionally.
Mm.
Like my editor, Claire Molini, she was amazing. She was like the person that kept us going. I knew that on the days that I am animating shots that will trigger me, I can just like send her a little clip of it, go straight home, work through the weekend, then come back on Monday. And when I see my team, everybody's aware of what's happening. Everybody's super excited about it and finding me and reaching out to me
Yeah.
with joy. And it was all because I knew that she was the social butterfly that I wasn't going to be on this film.
Oh.
It was great because everybody found roles, and there were a lot of roles that weren't traditionally like what you would expect. People cared so much about the project that they'd go the extra mile and find out ways to help on the emotional aspect of it, or ways to help beyond their role. Working in stop motion's amazing. Making other worlds that come to life, like creating characters that feel slightly separate from you.
Mhm.
It's a task that you have to love the process in order to not go crazy. And I'm hoping that some of my love of the process comes through in the film.